You're probably wondering where I've been for the past few days, seeing as how I said that I was actually going to be doing reviews starting on Monday. Well, that's because I've been playing this game since Monday. I've clocked in 42 hours on it now. Absolutely love it. I really do like this game. I first reviewed this back in on the 8th of January, I think it was 2017. Sorry, 2018 it was, so it's about 2 years ago yesterday that I actually reviewed this. It was in very early access then. It's had a lot of content added since then. It's not finished yet, it's still in early access. The way it looked from the actual plan was, when I first played it, it had about a third of the content. Now it's got 2/3 of the content, and we're waiting for the final third to be added, when I'll give it a proper review with a score. But I wanted to make this video just to show you what's been going on, how you actually play it for those people that missed my first video, and whether I think it's still fun. Well, obviously, as you can guess, I absolutely still think it's fun. It's overwhelmingly positive on Steam, and I think it totally deserves that. It's one of them games that's very satisfying to play. It's not just about playing it, it's about experiencing life in the ant colony, managing the colony yourself, and just taking it from the brink of starvation to a thriving power in the undergrowth. It's just awesome to play. It gives you so much satisfaction, and it's so well done as well. It's not like a hardcore real-time strategy game, so don't worry if you're not into RTS games. This is more of a simulation with a bit of dungeon keeper in there and a little few bits and bobs of RTS. The way it plays is this. You start off with, well, there's two modes. First of all, there's a campaign, which is what I'm mainly going to talk about, in a free play mode. The campaign is way better than the free play mode at the moment. Hopefully things will get better for the free play mode, but I'm going to talk mainly about the campaign. You start off in a Formicarium, and there's two scientists who are kind of doing experiments on it. One's a bastard, and the other's a complete bastard. And they're very well voiced. It's quite funny, and they just keep adding different insects to you to challenge you, to see if your answer's developing properly and all the rest of it.
I'm afraid we've ran out of time. It doesn't matter if the nest isn't perfect. Run the experiment, then clear out the specimens and bleach the equipment.
Yes, I know. I'm doing it.
And when you are finished here, I think we should have a word about your conduct around the laboratory.
I think we should have a word about your conduct around the laboratory.
What was that?
Nothing. Starting the experiment.
Good. Let me know when you have a result.
Okay, my little ants. This is it. The winner will have the privilege of joining me for the ultimate test, the real final experiment. The loser will be relegated to the waste disposal.
How it plays is, this is kind of like your home base, if you like, in the Formicarium. And you will be given bits of food, and you have to dig out your little colony. You design it yourself. This is where the dungeon keeper thing comes in. So you'll make a bit for your storage of food, and the scientists will sprinkle food on the surface, and you dig out to the surface, and you bring the food back with your workarounds and store it. The food allows you to create other ants. That's your main currency, food. For example, if you want to start making attack ants, such as melee ants and things like that, then that's going to cost a lot more money than the basic worker ants. Once an ant dies, it will respawn in the base in its little nest from a larva, provided you have enough food for that larva to actually hatch. So it's important, before you actually go on any big fights, that you have enough food in the bank, because if you don't have bank, you'll not get rep. Now, there's quite a few different ants being added to this since I last actually played it. We now have the leaf cutter ants, which look great. These don't eat meat, so all the little bugs that you kill will not be eaten by these ants. They're still ferocious. In fact, they are very ferocious, these ants. They've got some really nasty ant species that you can make, which I'll come to shortly. But the leaf cutters, they go out in search of leaves, and they carry the leaves back into the colony. And what happens then is, it's quite amazing, that the leaves get put in a food store, where they will be taken from the store by these tiny little ants and put into a place where they'll turn into fungus. And then the fungus is the currency to give you the money. Well, I say money, it's not really, ants don't use dollars, guys. But it is the currency of the game, where you create new ants. And when an ant dies, it respawns, providing you have enough of the currency, the fungus currency of the leaf ant. Now, as you're progressing through whichever ant you're playing, whether you're playing as a wood ant, a leaf cutter, or whatever, you have a tech tree. It's not a huge tech tree, but it is a very important tech tree because you have to decide what your ant's abilities are going to be. You have different ones. Some of them have taunt, some of them spit venom, some of them are totally defensive, some attack quicker than others. It just depends what you actually kit them out to do. And once you've done it, there's no going back. You are stuck with that. So it's quite important that you pick an ant suited to your actual playstyle. Once you've chosen the build of your ants, then as the game progresses, they will just get stronger and stronger. And this is the kind of good thing about this game. This is how it actually progresses. The Formicarium is basically your ant colony where all your perks take place. But to get food and resources for that, and there's 3 of them, there's food, expansion, and there's jelly. Now, food, I've already explained it. Expansion is just how much of the ground you are allowed to dig out before you can't dig out anymore, and you'll only be limited to a little bit at the beginning, and then you'll run out of that. It's called territory in the game. And the jelly is the jelly for the queen that will allow you points to put into perks, so to unlock perk points. You might need 200 jelly to unlock a specific perk for an ant species, so if you don't have enough jelly, you can't unlock it. Now, to get more food, more territory, and more jelly, what you do is missions. Now, these are missions that aren't your ant colony. You are kind of given an ant colony in a specific scenario, like the first one is an ant colony under a rotten log. Other ones are on beaches. Then there's the leaf cutter ones in jungles and things like that. So there's lots of different diverse missions that you do with completely different species of ants.
This Formica fusca queen has set up home beneath a rotting log. She is fat and vulnerable. Her first brood will need to move quickly if the colony is to survive. Their priority now is to find food, and there is plenty around. But there are other hungry creatures down here. The workers will need to be vigilant.
If you do that successfully and win the specific objective of that, you will be rewarded with food, territory, and jelly for your main ant colony. Now, once you've got your main ant colony up to a certain level and you've done all of the quests, you can then have it challenged. And this is where your 2 scientists come in, and they will challenge your main colony. So your whole object of the game is to expand your main colony, strengthen it, get some really good ants in there, and then you'll be challenged. And this is to progress in the campaign. If you succeed in that challenge, you will then go to the next tier where you'll get some different quests to do. Your colony will be rehoused in another Formicarium, and you have a whole new set of challenges to do where you will bring in extra food, territory, and jelly and make your ants bigger, powerful, stronger, and a larger colony. And then you'll be challenged again. Once you're ready for that challenge, you then will move on again. And that's how the campaign actually works. In doing this, it is a bit grindy, yes, but honestly, I've never been bored yet. I did a 6-hour stream of this, and I missed me dinner. I actually forgot to have dinner. It was 9:30 when I finished it, and just gone straight past it. It's that kind of game. It just sucks you right in. It just doesn't seem to get old playing this game. I mean, your colony gets attacked, things start finding the entrance to your colony, they start coming in and they try to attack your queen, and you've got to defend your queen, then you've got to take your ants out of the colony and send them out in search of food. And you know, one of the great things about this game, and I've looked at some of the reviews on Steam, some of the negative reviews, and people are like saying, I don't like the fact that when you move your ants to a certain place, they don't all go there. They will wander around. It's called an ant trail, mate. You know, that's what ants do. When you see any documentary on ants, you'll see that they have a trail from their colony to the food source. Now, they do that so well in this game because when you select, if you look at the bottom of the screen, you'll see different groups in Roman numerals. Now that's where you just drag and drop your specific ants into each specific group, and then you use markers for each group to tell them ants in that specific group number where they go. So for example, with the leaf cutters, you find a nice stalk with a load of leaves on. You will send your worker ants and your main leaf cutter ants to get that, but you'll also send your defense ants, your attack ants there as well. And what they'll do, they'll form a big long trail between your colony and this actual source of food, and they'll patrol backwards and forwards. And they do that so that if a predator, and there are plenty of them, start attacking the actual ants on the actual line, there's always other ants there to help. You can also as well micromanage with a simple click whether you want ants to be able to defend and attack, or whether you want them to harvest food. So you can have ants that you can say, look, I don't want you to attack at any cost, just concentrate totally on grabbing food, and then have another group with them who won't grab food, because you switch that off, and just say, right, all you are doing is defending. And so they will attack anything that comes near the ants that's actually harvesting. So it's such a great, it's easy to play. It is absolutely piss easy to play this game, but it is so rewarding to do it, and you can just get bigger and bigger. And talking of bigger, some of the predators that you have to fight off are huge, really huge, scary as. If you don't like spiders, and I don't, then it's freaking creepy as hell when you just watch some of the big spiders coming after your ant colony. They'll go straight for the queen as well if they can, so defending the entrance to your colony is absolutely essential. Free play mode allows you to change every parameter pretty much in the game to suit yourself. It is fun. I've been playing it for a few hours now, free play mode, but I have to say, guys, I just love the colony. I love the whole way of doing missions to expand your main Formicarium, and I can't wait for the rest of this game to be finished by the developer. Hopefully it'll be later this year. If not, it'll be next year, and once it's all out and done, I'll be doing a full-on review. But for £15, guys, my goodness, this game is absolutely phenomenal. I absolutely love it. It has got a few bugs in. It's got a lot of bugs in, guys. They're called ants. So there you go, guys. Empires of the Undergrowth is definitely worth a buy. I'm not going to give it the full-on score. I'm going to give it a nice juicy green thumb up, but I'll give it a full-on score and a full breakdown when it's finished later this year.
What was once a mighty empire is now nothing more than a feast for the many creatures that inhabit this area.